Now I've had a few people asking me about how to set up your AXN floater, and this is mine, the very one that hit the control tower just a week or so ago, and as you can see it's still in stunning condition, having encountered such a large and heavy object. And I'm going to show you what I've done to set mine up inside. Now I prefer to buy the ARF version, which has just the motor and the airframe, no speed controller, no servos. The reason for that is because you can put better servos in than the standard ones for really no extra cost. Now if we look inside here, you can see I have the Free Sky receiver, just a bit of Velcro here against that firewall, makes it nice and easy to get it in and out. I've got two of the little HobbyKing, I think the 10-gram orange servos. They work extremely well in this application. And for speed controller, and this is the reason I don't really like the ready-to-fly version with the built-in speed controller and all the servos installed, is because they give you a 20 amp speed controller that only has a 2 amp BEC in it. And once I get this out, you'll see. In this one I put the HobbyKing Super Simple 2530 speed controller, and this has a 3 amp BEC, and that makes all the difference, because with 4 servos 2 amps just isn't enough to give you reliable servo operation. And if I look underneath on the wings, you'll see that I've got the orange HobbyKing servos in the wings as well. They just held in with a bit of double-sided tape. Works extremely well. So that's how I've set it up. And the speed controller, some people like to shove it right down the back here. I've kept it up the front. It looks a bit messier, but it does mean that I can put other stuff up here for my FPV without having to worry about the speed controller creating any interference. Now, as for batteries, as they come, they're supposed to use, I think, a 1600 milliamp hour battery, 15 or 1600. That is really too small to have a lot of fun. So you want a 2200. This is a Zippy Flight Max 2200, and it's only well, not many Cs, either about 15 or 20 C or something. It's the perfect battery for this plane. You have to carve a little bit out of the foam, but it slides in here very nicely indeed, and makes it just the right centre of gravity. It's a wonderful, and you can get up to 30 or 35 minutes out of one of these batteries if you're just tooling around slowly. Another tip with batteries is, see the balance leads? Quite often, when I say quite often, I've had several occasions when inside here the balance leads, the wires become disconnected from the cells. So to avoid that happening, if you wrap some of the glass reinforced tape around there, pull the balance leads down there, takes the stress off there, so that you don't have to worry about those balance leads becoming disconnected inside and ruining your battery pack. So little tip, just tape those leads down and you'll never have that problem. Just that's what I do with all of my packs now. I never had a problem since doing that. Now obviously when you put this all in, I put the battery in, then I put the speed controller on the top. I'll show you. I have to put the camera down to do this because I don't have the tripod here today, so just one moment please. Now as you can see, I've got the battery in. I just put the speed controller on the top here. Some people put their speed controller underneath, but I like to be able to get at mine. By putting my speed controller on the top, I can just push it forward a little bit, push the wires into this end of the nose. Doing it one-handed makes it a lot harder. Here we go. Then I can plug my battery into here, and everything is well away from the receiver antenna wire, which sits way up here. Of course, the AXN has a little magnetic catch on one end, and on the other end it clips under this little, if I can find it, this little piece of plastic here. So that just clips under there, as you can see. Didn't even break the canopy on my AXN when I crashed it. And again, one-handed, this is a bit of a chore. Anyway, it goes on like that. But one thing you should do, it's well worth doing, is, if I can find it, which I can't, is using a big rubber band on the canopy just to make doubly sure things aren't going to fall out, especially if you're hooning around doing inverted and rolls and all sorts of things, because if that battery comes loose, it could push the canopy off. One tiny little magnet at the back, not enough to hold it really, so a rubber band around there. So that's basically my AXN floater. It's all stock apart from that, stock motor, everything else is dead stock. No real problems. The only problem I've had with this is when I hit the tower, this hinge here ripped a bit, so I just put some of that glass reinforced tape on it again, just to stop it from coming off. It seems to be working perfectly fine. And as you can see, there's been a bit of FPV gear going on here, and that's coming up real soon on the RC Model Review channel. And the bareback FPV, this is the plane that will be doing the bareback FPV, and all the FPV gear should mount on the top here, so you don't have to worry about what's going on inside. Stay tuned for that. Tune into RC Model Reviews, the channel, tell your friends about it, and very, very soon that series will kick off with this model, the welding visor, FPV visor, and the other bits and pieces you've been waiting for. So thank you for watching, and if you have any questions on the AXN floater, then just drop them on the bottom of this video, just a little bit down there, somewhere just down there. There's a box where you can put your comments in there, and I'll do my best to answer your questions.